Lucky, and welcome to Real Talks with the legend that is Brooke Smith.
Far out, that's the bio my mum sent through. So I really appreciate that intro, Andy. It's good to see. This is the only way we get to catch up. What a great way to catch up with people watching.
I can see there's been a little bit of developments. You've got the Jordans on the head. I've got the Jordans on my feet. Look
at that.
Look, Jordans.
And for those of you out there, youthy people that are impressed by how in touch I am with the youth by wearing this is now just covering up what is 11 or 12 weeks of unplanned for hair growth. So I've just been in lockdown.
Where have we got you? Are you in Point Chev, or have you got
I'm
you
in
on
Point
the
Chev.
island?
I'm in Point Chev. Yeah, absolutely.
So welcome to our second kind of discussion in the mysterious world of crypto, digital currencies, NFTs, all those things. Who would think that we'd be doing that?
I mean, yeah, especially me. Listen, I've been 18, 19 months ago, Centrality invested in We Are Tenzing, which is a talent, kind of like a purposeful talent management company that I have. And then I kind of got deeper and deeper into this. And I mean, 12 months ago, I didn't know what an NFT was. Probably, I doubt very many people knew at all, right?
What is an NFT?
Well, it's a good point. A good question, Andy. This is the kind of probing question I'm
Let's
here
go.
to answer.
So what is it?
Well, let's start with blockchain. Those of you who are starting from zero, blockchain sounds complex, but after this simple explanation, I'm hoping you too can bore people at barbecues with this. Effectively, what blockchain is just a distributed ledger, a way to keep account of everything that is technically or maybe unhackable. And the way they do that is that they just take an idea of who owns everything on the blockchain and they upload it to all the computers at once. And so in order to kind of change that and hack that, you'd have to hack every computer in the distributed ledger. So that's the start of it. It's an amazing story, guys. 2009, someone called Satoshi Nakamoto. No one knows who they are. It's not a real name.
Good white paper. Good white paper.
Yeah, incredible. That's good terminology, Andy. And this person or people, they created a white paper explaining how to make Bitcoin, and from there on in, blockchain took off. And they've never been heard from really. Well, they haven't been heard from since late 2009. They have a wallet that has over $10 billion worth of Bitcoin sitting in the wallet untouched. So they're either dead or really not interested in money. And that led to a whole bunch of innovation around the decentralized finance world, cryptocurrencies, and all of that was really interesting if you were into currency trading, and there were a lot of people out there that are. But for most people, it kind of flew under the radar, a little bit too complex, maybe a little bit boring, a little bit out there. And then all of a sudden, in 2017, NFTs started happening. And NFTs took the same technology that made cryptocurrency, this portable digital asset. They took the same technology and they attached it to content, images. So these are pictures or videos, and they're called NFTs. Now, the word fungible, that's pretty interesting. It's a word I wasn't familiar with. But something that is fungible, and almost all currencies are fungible, is something that is indiscernible. So if I give you a $2 coin, I lend it to my friend Andy, and 2 days later, he gives me back a $2 coin. I don't know if it's the same coin or a different coin, and I don't care because it's completely transferable. It's fungible.
And non-fungible is?
Unique. It's by definition unique. So your house is non-fungible. If you woke up and you were in a replication, someone had tried to replicate your house, it's likely you'd be able to tell you're in a different spot. The house would be different. Human beings are non-fungible. In fact, almost everything in the world is non-fungible. Fungible is by design, right? Currencies. And so
NFT stands for non-fungible
token. Right. And so in 2017, they took this really advanced, amazing technology that's able to transfer things across the world at usually a very low cost. And they started attaching it to non-fungible items, and they called them non-fungible tokens. And the most famous of these are art, NFTs because, and they became famous because people are fascinated by money.
So let's go rocket on this. So
yeah, art,
art, music.
Yes.
What else?
Just
what are the other use cases?
All content. Well, everything is a use case. So in gaming, when you think about a gaming landscape, at the moment you go to Fortnite and they own everything in there. They've gone and built the trees and they've gone and built the landscape, and you go in there and you sign into one of their characters and they own the shape of the character and the name of the character, and you can buy a pickaxe or a gun or whatever. But it's all stuff that you're really renting from them when you're in the game. What non-fungible tokens allow you to do is to create a landscape where everything in that landscape is owned by different people.
And then you can get revenue streams off it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the real world. So at the moment, there are people creating these landscapes around the world, the virtual landscapes, and you can buy land in them, and then you can drop your NFT in there that you've designed, and it might be a giant crayfish that has guns. And
is that hard to do?
Well, it's not
to drop my avatar, which I own, into someone else's game.
Well,
it's like an API.
Well, we've now just stretched ourselves into the real conversation, which is the metaverse. And the metaverse is a term that everyone...
I do that because I had that on page 3 of my interview.
Oh no! Well, we've got there because it's the most exciting and interesting thing on the planet at the moment.
Oh my God! You must be excited.
I am
bouncing,
excited.
And you just had a Red Bull.
Yeah, I've just knocked the top off my Red Bull. # not an ad.
Are you sponsored? You were sponsored once in your life by Red Bull.
The very first sponsor I had, the second sponsor I had was Red Bull, and it was in 1996. And Red Bull at the time, they were banned in every country except for Austria. And I've always thought, well, I've thought since then, what a brilliant marketing. I bet you they weren't banned. I bet you they just made that up.
Now did you know that NFTs actually were created in 2012, right? And because, interviewers do their research. But my question for you, because we've got a whole bunch to get through, is why have they taken off all of a sudden? Why did it take 5 years before you said 2017? Yeah. And now it's like...
Yeah, well, it's interesting, and please don't correct me in front of the kids again. That's don't make me look bad again. But you're right. So 2011 crypto coins, people started to experiment with this idea of building a visual representation of a coin in the contract. And so what they were trying to do, and this is just us being humans, they were trying to make these Bitcoins or these crypto coins, which were a concept, and they were trying to visualize them as visible, like gold, silver, bronze coins, because we're trying to make them as much like currency as we can. The splitters in 2017, where things started to get interesting, people were attaching them to icons, and the most famous of which, profile photos, are the CryptoPunks. So now the CryptoPunks and the success of Bored Ape Yacht Club and CryptoPunks, it's a phenomenon that was like most of these kind of massive tech advances and these leaps that involve human nature. People don't understand the significance. Facebook, when they invented the like, didn't understand that it would define, 15 years of commerce and completely shift the entire commercial model to this attention-based model. It was a simple like, well, I'm just going to design a like. And when NFTs created profile photo NFTs, I don't think people understood that.
Okay.
And this is me. Usually I'll give a visual display with this, but if you guys are able to Google right now, CryptoPunk, it's a really simple NFT that was created in 2017, and a team at Lava Labs challenged themselves to create 10,000 unique images using a set amount of pixels. Really difficult to make 10,000 different individuals.
Do you own one?
A CryptoPunk. Yeah. They're $15 million, Andy. I wish I owned one. They were given away for free at the start, but you can pay up to 15 million for one now. I don't know what the floor on CryptoPunks is. It would be in the hundreds of thousands.
So let's get to Fluff World? Because
Well,
this is a good use case, right?
Well,
can you tell us about Fluff World?
I can tell you about.
I'm trying to manage you here.
Yeah, you're right, because I don't know how much time we can talk all day, right? All day.
Yeah.
So Fluff World, we've bounced around a bit here. We are a metaverse ecosystem. So
Fluff World is a metaverse company.
Yeah. I mean,
not
I
an NFT company.
I don't. Yeah, and I don't really. The problem is Facebook are trying to claim to be a metaverse company. We're just a company that is looking to make the world's smartest avatars and the world around them. And we've partnered with some amazing people like the team at Beyond Games, Anton and Jess down in Wellington. And we're creating environments for your avatar to live in that you can own, proprietary, metaverse environments, which is really awesome. But we're also creating avatars. Our 10,000 Fluffs, they sold out in 40 minutes. $15 million in sales on day one.
When was that?
August 8th. Seems like a million years ago. Sold just under $90 million worth of sales since August 8th. And
can I just ask?
Yeah.
Ownership of NFT can only be one person or entity, right?
Yes. And
like someone owns the Fluff, right? The one of the 10,000. But I've heard lots of people saying one of the great things with the NFTs is that, like a piece of art, the original creator of the piece of art can get a revenue stream over time. But if one person owns the NFT, how do they give income back to the original creator? I'm confused.
No, it's a great question. So
I know.
When you talk about this perpetual revenue, which is why musicians, I give on most interviews, I try to give Spotify a timeline, and I think it's 10 months to 4 years. Like in 10 months, everything starts to unravel for Spotify. And then in 4 years, they're no longer really a relevant company. They're about as relevant as Napster is now. And why I say that is, so when you look at the revenue model for an NFT, so you're a musician and you've got 5,000 diehard fans. Not a lot of fans. You don't need a lot of fans to create value as an NFT. And you create an NFT, 5,000 of them. Each of them are unique. Some of them are gold, some of them are silver, some of them are bronze, and each of them gives people slightly different access to your content over the next 12 months or maybe even the next 5 years. And that could mean that they get gold, people get free tickets, silver get 20% off, bronze get 10% off. Everyone gets a release every month. The gold people get better access, different releases, whatever it is. You're a musician with 5,000 fans. You just need to engage 5,000 fans and you charge $200 for 5 years worth of content. You've just made $1 million with 5,000 fans. Now, you're going to need to stream about 1 billion songs and sell merch and play concerts to do that as a musician in the current market.
So it's a disintermediation, and it's taking out middle people and creating connectivity.
But most importantly, the value has always been there. People have always paid that amount. But there was just so much inefficiency. But also, the other thing that's really interesting is, 30 years ago, we promised that digitization would bring the music industry more connectivity with their fans. And in fact, all it's done is just completely separate them.
But I just want to, I'm going to press you here, right? So genuine photo of Dan Carter kicking the penalty to win the Lions series way back when. Released as an NFT, right? Gets sold for $1 million. Gets on-sold for $2 million. At the point that the person who buys it for $2 million, from the person that owned it for $1 million, say Brooke owns that, right? And Dan was the original creator.
Dan will get 5% of the on-sale.
How does that work?
Well, there's a contract. So you have a sales contract. And that contract will say that when this is sold to someone, 5% of it goes to this wallet, the creator wallet.
Is 5% standard, or is that
10% is the cap, and then 2.5 to 5 to 10 is stand. Very few people charge 10% on secondary. You want to encourage secondary sales, right? Because that's where you make a whole bunch of the money.
okay? Right, now I'm getting there. Right, so this is super interesting.
Well, let me get you back to the music thing, because I was getting there. So now you've got like Andy Hamilton, musician, 5,000 fans. You've sold $200 5-year passes to Andy Hamilton, musician fans. By year 2, you've got 5,000 passionate advocates that have got this $200 asset. All they want to do is make that $200 asset worth $1,000. Do you know what they do? They share your music. They talk about how great you are, and they are constantly promoting Andy Hamilton music so that they can on-sell one of the 3 passes, one of these 3 music passes they've got. They become your distribution and promotion layer. And they
Does that mean they end up more than 5,000 followers if he releases more? If I release more?
No, well, so one of the core things in contracts and NFTs is that you have a pathway of what you're releasing in future. So we're never releasing another bunny. We release 10,000. We'll never release another bunny, and that gives a certainty to our purchasers that their bunny isn't going to be, quantitatively eased.
No, but you will release hairs, 10,000 hairs.
I mean, we would
10,000 hamsters.
It's really important that we don't release anything that devalues our initial stakeholders, right? All we want to do, and this is our community, and you can join us on Discord, Fluff World. You'll get a sense of how incredible the community is, and they are.
I've just seen it this morning on Twitter, right?
It's
crazy! It just went off this morning.
It's so incredible, and what you want to do, there's a trust there that we are not going to kind of like, it's called a rug pull, which is where, you just take all the money and go and you leave the community defenseless. A lot of people are buying these because they believe there's an implied value down the track.
Okay, now let's just do some basics.
Yep.
Fluff.
Yep.
Fluff, 10,000 fluffs are bunnies.
Yep.
And they're an NFT, there's an image, there's a background,
yep.
right? Now that's only the start, right?
Yep. So
what's the roadmap of the development of these fluffs? Just take me through that.
Let's start with New Zealand being the amazing place it is. We had some incredible 3D artists and a great creative director in Jesse. Metcalf, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Jesse.
Happy birthday, Jesse. He won't be watching.
No. So we created the world's first 3-layered NFT that had a background, an animated 3-dimensional bunny in the foreground, and music. We also recently, I say we, the tech guys, brilliant, also created some technology that allows anyone that owns a fluff to log into a site. You can separate the music, the background, and the bunny, and then buy a different background and different music for it. We created fluff scenes and sounds, first in the world to do that as well. And what that's allowing now is a series. We've got maybe 30 or so of the world's leading musicians that we've been talking to that are creating tracks for the backings for your fluffs, 32-second loops. There's an incredible music roadmap that we've got going, but the backgrounds that you can see behind your fluff, many of them are actually real 3D environments that we've been creating for the last couple of months, so that your fluff may look like it's at a tiki bar, but what you don't know is that we have a tiki bar that we've been creating and will continue to create. And one day your fluff will be able to go there. And if your fluff was kind of like purchased at the tiki bar way back in the day, you'll have some additional rights at that venue. We're creating, you want to see the burrows that we're creating, Andy. I can't show you.
It's right pretty now. Crazy, don't you think?
Oh, it's insane.
If you go back to the day you met Aaron, was that the genesis of Fluff World?
Oh yes, certainly. Well, not the day I met Aaron. The day I met Aaron, I think we just got really drunk. But certainly, the genesis of Fluff World was getting a sense of how smart. Aaron, I think is probably the smartest human I've ever worked with. He's just got.
When did you create Fluff World? We created Non-Fungible Labs in February.
I had nothing to do with the genius of Fluff World. And in fact, when they put the business plan in front of me, I'd been looking and helping them with these things. I said to Alex and Jesse, I was like, you guys think you're going to make $4 million on the first day? This is the worst business plan I've ever seen. And
well, you know what it's like to raise capital, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you like sit back? Actually,
yeah.
What's the conversations like with Amber? Does she go, what the fuck is going on?
Well, what about your parents? When I told my dad, because Andy, I've been hustling for a long time, and I've got 7 other great companies that are doing well, but boy, there's been a lot of slog. And then to have this great moment where I invested some money, Aaron and I invested some money into two really brilliant young Kiwis, Alex Smaler, Brad Smaler's brother, by the way, Alex Smaler and Jesse Metcalf. And they delivered beyond like what you could imagine. And this kind of brings us back to maybe why we're even here. The creative power that is sitting in New Zealand right now that NFTs and this environment can unlock is significant. Starting with the musicians that have found it hard to grow international communities, and we've got the communities, all the way through to the incredible 3D and visual artists. So, there are tens of thousands of people out there that we feel that NFTs can help connect to communities. Hey,
where are we on 0 to 10 of the spectrum of NFT land?
We are we're not even at 1 yet, number 1. And what I can tell you is that there isn't a major company or VC right now that isn't laser focused on this. Bored Ape Yacht Club in September made $90 million in 10 minutes with their most recent release. And when anyone does that, when people realize that they just released another 10,000 images and made $90 million in 10 minutes, they've made $1.5 billion. They've got $1.5 billion in sales in 3 months. Hey, can I share screen for a second?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you can. Come on, man.
Can you? You try that.
Your team just needs. They'll be able to release it if they're listening. They'll be able to release the ability. But you ask away on your questions there, Andy.
Share screen. Oh no, I don't think it's allowed. But so how did it go with?
No, here it goes. Look at this.
How did it go with?
Boom. Can you see that?
No, I can't see it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How did it?
Just explain to me. How did it go? Oh, there you go. How did it go? Explaining to your white-haired wise man, old man.
First, he didn't really understand it. Not just at first, second, and third, he didn't understand it. Then Don Braid, my father, was part of founding Main Freight, and he's a brilliant businessman himself. And Don Braid, who's the GM or the CEO at Main Freight, started sending him articles on how NFTs were just a rort and a Ponzi scheme. And so, and then I started sending Don Braid back, and he's a good mate, sending him back emails about how it's not. And then Main Freight server just started blocking me.
Well, do you know, Don is an incredible human, but he's also my litmus no guy, because I send him an email every single month, and he's always very considerate in coming back. But principally, he never says yes. And so eventually, one day, I'm going to get him to say yes.
Well, that'd be great. And well, he said no to this, definitely. But as my dad's got deeper into it, because I was having to get dad to relay emails to Don, and I'd send him through the Forbes magazine talking about how NFTs. So NFTs are the entire foundation of the metaverse. Almost nothing in the metaverse will exist that isn't an NFT. And if you look at this picture, a brilliant team at Beyond Studios created this. This is our concept art for the burrows. So if you own a Fluff and you buy the high roller burrow, this is your living room that you'll be in. These things are art, some statues you can own, and they'd be NFTs that you bought, maybe from an artist, maybe from a charity.
But crazy, eh? I invested in a company called Big Little Bang that was creating virtual worlds that you could go and play music and share music on, and it's crazy. And we lost all our money, so that's fine. But it's super interesting to see how this developed. Now we need to get back on track. So
yeah.
you've set it so it's 0 to 10. A couple of people have asked me what are the different ways NFTs can be monetized. Are there different ways?
Yeah. So, I mean, you can think about NFTs in different. You think about them as just.
Is this a long answer, or is this going to be a short answer?
I'll make it as short as possible. Sorry, there are different types of NFTs. So you've got NFTs that are, object contracts that are basically just going to be these, pieces of art that it's all about collecting, and then you can monetize them by collecting them and then on selling them, right? They're just, it's art, collectibles, trading cards, things like that.
Yep.
The second part of monetization for NFTs is using them in the ticketing and experience space. So if almost all ticketing agencies will use NFTs in the near and immediate term. Scalping is gone, by the way. An NFT will mean that if you buy an All Blacks,
it's genuine.
Well, not just genuine, but it won't let you transfer more money than the amount. You can't pay more for it, because it's a smart contract. So scalping's gone. So if your All Blacks ticket was $300 and you try to sell it to someone on in any way, shape, or form, unless you've got some kind of a really tricky way of getting around the contract, if you try to sell it to them for $500, it won't take 500. It will only take 300. Whatever.
Is that correct though? Because
don't challenge me.
NFTs can increase in value.
No, you can write a contract that says that this rugby ticket will always be $198.
Okay.
No matter what you do. And so
any other ways you can monetize?
Well, I mean, the ongoing revenue of a membership of a community is big. I mean, that's massive. So if you are a community, I was the vice president of the Palm and Psychab Society, and they spent, these lovely, some elderly folk, and they just had no way to collect revenue, to subs, all of these things. And you can build out your tiering for your communities, but there's just so many ways to use.
Okay, so let's go, because we've been going, and so actually, interesting question. How do I know if an NFT is authentic?
Yeah, that's a good question. So
I know. I think that was Diaz gave me that question just quietly.
Cool. On OpenSea, which is all these large marketplaces, you'll see verified collections. And so really make sure that you are buying a legitimate version. So some of them are hard to copy. Like a Fluff is very hard to copy because just the rendering, you may as well not do it, because you've got to render 10,000 of these. It costs a lot of money. But yeah, so if you go to OpenSea, you'll see a little blue tick for verified collections, and that's
just like the blue tick on those other platforms.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right.
Now we should just do this, right? Because Jerome has been helping me immeasurably over the last couple of weeks around this whole NFT area, right? So let's say now I now have a wallet, right? And I've connected it into the metaverse, and I've got Discord as a server, and what else have I done? And I've got Ethereum, so I'm ready to go. But guess what? I just stopped because I was like,
what do I buy?
What do I buy?
Yeah.
And then Jerome was going, get onto the altered state machine.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God. I was
I hope you got in there. Oh,
I didn't. Don't tell me. But how do you what's the simplest way to start?
The simplest way to start, certainly find someone that spent some time in there. It's quite a layered kind of knowledge industry, in that you've got to just build these layers of okay, here's what a good NFT is. And I answered you on Twitter this morning that, a good NFT is like a good company, that the project should be timed well, so.
Do you think I read I've got someone that manages that. Do you know,
I sent you 5 responses to your thing this morning. So
you also swore and made some comment about Jack getting his shit together to edit posts.
Why can't you edit posts on Twitter? Why can't you? It's 2021, Jack. Get your shit together. So a good NFT project is just like all the projects you've worked with in the past, Andy, in that it's got to be timed right. Is it timed well? And altered state machine putting AI into NFTs is incredible for the metaverse.
That is crazy. But just for clarity, so if I had bought one of those,
yes,
then
I bought 2. I bought 3.
Do you want to sell me one?
No, or I do actually. They're about. I bought them for 500. The ones I've got are around about $13,000 each now.
Fuck off.
Real.
Really?
I got ultras.
But can I put that into a fluff?
Yes. So fluffs are being built, and Altered State Machine. I have a tiny equity stake in Altered State Machine, and so we're working really well with them to make sure that we're working together. That's the short answer there.
When will NFTs and DeFi start playing together?
Well, they're already working together.
Okay.
But I mean, they're effectively based on the same. There's different members of the same family.
Okay, now
because they're smart contracts, right?
Okay. When did you know you had a business with non-fungible labs?
I missed the mint. I probably lost like about a lot of money. I missed the mint because I was selling a house, and Amber and I are always a bit of we're grinders. And instead of paying for people to
the mint of the
fluffs, and instead of paying for people to take the rubbish out of the house when we were getting it ready for sale, I hired a truck and I was loading up the rubbish. And I was driving, and I pulled over, and Aaron called me, said, sold out in 40 minutes. And I was like, what do you mean 40 minutes? I was just about to go home and try to mint some.
So did you then go?
I had to buy them from Aaron. He charged me like
a lot.
No, he gave me 3 of them.
Do you
But I missed some, Andy. Here's the thing about a mint. Some people who minted fluffs, they minted them for 500 New Zealand dollars, and one sold for $250,000 the other day. So they made,
Do you still get the 5%? The creators?
We get the 5% on the $250,000. Yeah.
So it's a super interesting. Are you able to publicly disclose how much was those 10,000? How much that was sold for?
Everything's public, so you can go on OpenSea and see what our total sales are. We've got 15.3 thousand Ethereum in sales, and so you can do the math on that. It's 6,000. I think ETH is $6,000, whatever that is.
So how much is that? 90 million.
Something like that.
Wow.
And
crazy.
It's the nuts thing about this. If you can build a really good ecosystem, it gives you a powerhouse to take on the world. If you're wondering why every film company, game company in the world is crapping themselves right now, NFT entities like Bored Ape Yacht Club or Fluff World make their revenue models look shithouse. We'll be able to.
So you don't need to raise, you didn't actually, for Fluff World, you didn't need to raise capital, right? You've raised it.
Make $500,000 a day in sales. There's $500,000 a day in sales of secondary.
It's pretty crazy. Hey, how long does it take to create a fluff? 1.
3, or to create each one?
Yeah.
Well, the render engines. I'll tell you, we've got a project. We're creating thingies on Sundays. So every fluff got dropped a thingy on last week, which is a secret NFT. No one really knows. There's about 6 people on the planet who know what a thingy is.
Yeah, because Jessica said to me this morning, get a thingy.
You should get. Some people are selling them. They're idiots. On Sunday, we're rendering them. 24 million frames we've got to render. So Amazon and Gian, big shout out to the kids at Amazon, AWS, tiny little company Amazon that's helping us with that render. 24 million frames to get 10,000 thingies live. Crazy.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. These are rocket questions and rocket answers, so they've got to be one syllable, right?
Yep.
Well, whatever. Brands that inspire and inform Fluff World and you.
Come on, man. That's a hard one. That's a good point. Listen, okay. I think Bored Ape Yacht Club are brilliant at what they do. I love them, and they inspired us for Fluff World for sure. Yeah.
What surprised you about your fluff journey to date?
Everything. It's fucking nuts. It's completely nuts. Everything.
True.
Okay.
True or false? The NFT movement, I have to read this, is akin to the 70s movement of anti-society, psychedelics, freedom, and Woodstock.
I would like to think it is. It certainly is going to tear apart the
true
content.
Or false?
Oh, No, false. I think
Okay.
no, false. I don't think I think it's far more commercial than that.
I quite like this one. In the future, will you be able to simultaneously drop acid with your fluff and trip together?
Not acid, mushrooms, man. Mycelium. The whole. Listen. I've only really just started talking about the mycelium thing, but the entire of Fluff World is powered by mycelium and a network, and so fun. Third Kingdom.
Isn't Metaverse just the anti-control freak of evil central banks and government?
Yeah, it is. I tell you what, the amazing commentary recently is, and if you've seen Ready Player One, it's kind of that's a set in a semi-dystopian future where the metaverse exists, and there's a controlling entity called OIO, and Mark Zuckerberg's recent Facebook is hired 10,000 people to build the metaverse statement, which is
they're going to change their name.
It's the most insane statement ever. He's only saying 10,000 people to try to kind of impact upon the world that they are going to somehow dominate building something that is by its very nature non-proprietary. It's like, it's just ridiculous.
If Fluff World was a song, what song would it be?
Run Rabbit by Fairfields, aka Tom Lee. It's a great song.
Can you sing it?
No. I mean, I could, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it any disservice. If you want to go to OpenSea, search Fluff World, and then there's a track on the NFTs called Run Rabbit. It's just great.
This is super interesting. Now, if you think about other founders, entrepreneurs in New Zealand, what do you think? Like, how do they get into the space? What do you think they should be doing? Like, what's your guidance to people who are going, and this, by the way, musicians, artists,
I would like to see Kiwi entrepreneurs partner with brilliant creatives and form a partnership that explores how NFTs can drive better value for their communities and their fans. Because if you start with don't start with how do we make all this money, because that's, it's just a poor premise to start with. Sit down and go, here's a creator that's got a bunch of fans. How do we build more value in that ecosystem? How do we make it so that if they love that person's art, they get to experience and share it more? And if you have someone that can kind of drive that as an entrepreneur, then I think you're going to do really, 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 really well. You
appreciate that to some outsiders, this looks a bit crazy, right?
Oh, it looks totally crazy. The numbers are insane. But
now the numbers are insane. Let's shift to something now, because I'm kind of interested about your background, because I know your background and many wouldn't, right? But I want you, rather than give the life story, in as few words as possible from school to now.
I got kicked out of 7th form. I got kicked out on 6th form, and I went back to 7th form, and they're like, "We kicked you out last year." And
okay, so then
I went to the States with a big chip on my shoulder and built some companies and competed in rollerblading there at the X Games for a while, and then came back, did some TV, lost a lot of money on a footwear company that I thought I was starting. I thought I was a genius. I wasn't a genius. And then
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And then started building We Are Tenzing after I saw content moving digitally from TV3, left TV3. When I say left TV3, I mean,
what does Tenzing do?
I left TV3. Tenzing takes inspirational New Zealanders, brilliant New Zealanders, and helps them make the most out of their community and their platform. Make the most financially, and of course, like beyond finance in terms of their purpose. So the Jess Quinns of this world, or Brad Smaler, Jazz Thornton, those kind of people.
Okay, Otterfish, what's that?
Yeah, that's so. Then we were approached by Tyler Ward, who's a brilliant crypto genius, and he and I have built a Web 2.0 company, which is non-crypto, that helps people optimize, create their ads a lot easier for social, and then build smarter ad campaigns. So it multivariant and audience testing to find a better outcome for your ads and get them better results. Really amazing. It can increase your ad performance by around 300% running dark posts that are multivariate tested.
You know, Murray Tom
Yes.
said, opportunities whisper. They never shout at you.
It's a good quote.
What I'm so interested about you, Lovely, is that your dog?
Yeah, she thinks I'm on that there's someone at the door every time I'm talking on this thing. Sorry.
What's her name?
She's Coco Bear. She's pretty awesome.
That's nice. She is awesome. Mine's Lulu. Mine is asleep on the beanbag, a little bit exhausted. Now, after a walk this morning. So what's interesting with you is you're a sensor, aren't you? Don't you think, like, you sense, you see?
I love patterns, and I do feel like I can sense opportunities, and I can, but also I tell you, I posted the other day, it's a really un-New Zealand post, and I'll do this. So the first company I started was Senate, went on $13 million US a year, big. It was the first company I ever started. It was a runaway hit. And the first TV show I did, Access TV, really great show, it was really awesome. And then the first fundraiser I did was Rise Up Christchurch, really awesome. Yep. And then went on Cure Kids with the Comedy for Cure Kids. Tenzing, which is I think is a great company, and I think probably is the exemplar for talent management now. Yep. I think it's great. And then the first of NFT things, Fluff World, it's a price hit. And someone had been like attributing it to some kind of talent, and it is definitely not talent to have these kind of events. It came down to identifying really talented people and then just trying something. Every single one of them.
Are you strategic or tactical?
No, I don't even know what the difference is. Is that a problem?
Are you opportunistic?
Yeah, opportunistic, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I think so. If I can see really talented people and a really good idea, I will pressure them into taking that opportunity. So I didn't stop until Brett and Jermaine said yes to Comedy for Cure Kids. I just pestered them because it was an amazing opportunity to change the way that Cure Kids was raising money, right? And talent, I didn't make that a hit. I had nothing to do with that being a hit. I just managed to convince Brett and Jermaine to do it, right?
How do you describe yourself these days? Brooke Howard Smith.
Just old, just really old.
Like when someone says, what do you do, Brooke? What do you say?
I saw the remnants of like a couple of years ago. It says social entrepreneur. I don't know what I'm doing these days. I'm just guiding a lot of smarter people by relaying some of the things that have gone wrong with me in the past. So take yourself to the year 12 student from your local school, maybe not St. Kitts, but maybe not
your local school. What advice would you give him or her?
Well, firstly, find people that are really good, have a passion for something, they're really good at it, but potentially don't have the gumption to do it, and then help them, convince them to do it, and then give them the tools with which to do it. I'm going to give you an example. We released these, I think like Monday. So Jordan Watson, How to Dad, 2 years ago, he and I had an idea to create a jandal with the bread tag already in it. We're like, why wouldn't you just make a bigger plug, right? Yeah. On the jandal so it doesn't pull through. Now, Jordan is the most natural entrepreneur in the world. But if he hadn't had someone kind of driving him forward, constantly going, this is a good idea, this is a great plan, 2 years to make these. And they're available now, by the way, here's golden.com. And they're 400% stronger than a Haviana. Amazing, right? And it's a genuine Kiwi jandal. You can sit there and pull that all you want.
Has it gone well?
Yeah, really well. Really, really well. I think we had 5,000 unique visitors a day to the website. Great pre-sales going. The warehouse has ordered 10,000 of them. That's a secret. Shit.
Don't worry.
But it's a heck of a bloody. But again,
I promise you, what I'll do, because after this call, what I do is I sit and watch it on a replay, and then I take clips out and we share those on social. So that's the bit about the warehouse, I'll share that, right?
It's bloody exciting. But again, so going back to good ideas. If you've got good ideas, or you've got people that have got good ideas, just start wrapping experience around them. Getting people like yourself, mentors in place early, really good. That shoe company, I didn't have any bloody mentors. Notice how I left that off my CV, by the way.
It's pretty interesting, you know. Someone's just said, Sione's just said, I'm buying it once it gets on the warehouse.
Yeah, well, it's probably going to be, it's cheaper than what we're selling it for, but these are so great, man. They're super comfy. They're hyper durable. We did a durability test on them. And this is maybe generation 5. We continually made them better and better and more durable. So we hope they last the whole summer.
There's a big movement around consciousness and purposeful communities right now. Does Fluff World have a purpose?
Well, yeah, it does, for a number of purposes. The first one is to connect creatives to their communities. That's the first one, to make it easier for creatives to build great art and or music, and for us to introduce that into communities. Sustainability is a big part of our, we've got 4 pillars, and they are innovation, creativity, sustainability, and inclusion. And inclusion is really important. If we build the metaverse with the current metaverse creatives, it's going to be a really bland reflection of the real world, because there are just no Indigenous creators that are being empowered to build that metaverse with us. And so Fluff World has a real passion about introducing Indigenous cultures, marginalized cultures into the metaverse creation process, so that when you get into the metaverse, you're like, wow, this is rich. This doesn't look like it was designed by the same 45.
Yeah, I think there was a drop last weekend. Wasn't there a drop with Titan Tribe?
Titan Tickies?
Titan Tickies. They dropped last weekend, didn't they? I missed on those as well.
Yeah. And that was one of our first kind of collaborative supporting pieces. But we're partnering with people all the way around the world right now to help make sure that, South American Indigenous cultures or Inuit cultures, you can't build a metaverse with like just San Francisco, London, New York, New Zealand. It will look in crap.
Yeah, it's super, super interesting.
Yeah. It's also, by the way, 10% of of our profit goes towards sustainability initiatives. If you've got any, please let us know, because we've got $1 million that we need to give to someone.
That's quite funny. Do the math.
Sustainable culture. Yeah, that's right.
Are you going to raise capital?
We've just had a strategic partnership announced with Outlier Ventures. We don't need to raise capital, obviously, but not obviously.
Who are they?
Jamie Burke is seen as kind of being one of the premier brains when it comes to metaverse in the future. He's got a thing called the Metaverse Podcast, and Outlier Ventures helps incubate projects like ours through to being successful metaverse operators. And he's based out of the UK.
What's next for Fluff World?
Thingies on Sunday. Listen, we've got a company policy of not being allowed to buy thingies because we believe they're so undervalued that, like, next week we don't want people saying, "Why did you guys buy them all? How did you already knew that?"
Okay, so so on Sunday I want to buy a thingy, right? Where do I go?
Well, you want to buy it before Sunday, because on Sunday people will be able to see what they look like and they'll freak out.
So how do I buy them?
You go to OpenSea and you search Fluff World thingies. And
thingy is spelled T, with an IE.
Yeah, with an IE. And these are Fluff World inhabitants. I can't say too much. They are functional.
And they're released when?
They've been released
there now.
Yeah, everyone was given one. They owned a Fluff, and then they can go claim them, and they've got a choice to wait until they reveal on Sunday, or sell it now. And some people are like, I'm going to sell mine and they're around about 2.5 to 0.3 of an ETH, about $1,000. Which again, the entry level for this stuff, it's pretty nuts.
And a thingy is a thing that goes with a Fluff.
thingy is a thing that is in our world. I can't say much more than that. It's all secret.
It's
fascinating stuff, man. Absolutely.
It's so exciting.
I've got a message here from Dean Ball, and Fluff World is a life-changing project. They add a ton of value to their community, and the community adds back. You've just got to see what the community is making. So we've got a $100,000 animation competition that is the deadline is tomorrow.
Is this in Discord?
Yeah, and the winner gets $60,000 and then 30/10. And the first animation got released yesterday. Like, this person just put it up there, a young lady from Canada, I think, and it's mind-blowing. She's taken her fluff, so we gave everyone their full 3D rigged fluffs, not their one, just a fluff, and then they've gone out and animated them. Now, in 6 weeks, people will be able to take their fluff with their outfits, their exact fluff with their fur color, and animate it and do whatever they want to. We're going to give those to them to animate with.
It's pretty crazy. Now, I'm getting a bit of heat from Max, who's saying he wants to understand more about thingies.
Yes.
So I know we're at 50 minutes, but
no, that's Max Poker. He's in the Discord. He's just drilling for alpha. He just knows that I keep talking. I'm going to say something and then I'm going to get in trouble. Yeah, no, these guys, they've followed us in here now. They know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to get me to tell you what a thingy is. I can tell you that I can't wait. And I can tell you that Jesse Metcalf, who is busy building the Metcalf verse in his vision, is said that he's more excited about thingies than he ever was about fluffs. So that's exciting.
It's pretty amazing. Now, I'm just going to do something a little bit selfish here and maybe a little bit risque, right? But at Monarchy, one of the things, and at Indigo that owns Monarchy, one of the projects that we've partnered on is the creation of Mosaic, right? And I don't know whether do you know about Mosaic?
No, I'm excited. Tell me more.
MosaicTV.com is basically a creation by Jordan River, Lance Savali, Taryn Paris, oh my God, and there are a couple of other people. And essentially, it's a subscription platform for content that Lance and the team have created. And they're doing shows. They're doing things like there was a music talent show. There was a dancing talent show.
Mm-hmm.
They do a Don't Make It Orcs. They also, they're streaming content, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, actually, it's gone pretty well. We just hit 6,000 downloads as of this morning, and we've got over 3,000 subscribers, right? Yeah, and people tune in and watch in the conventional centralized world content. I find them super interesting, and I've been watching the shows and learning about, because they release music and it's my window into a world where I don't hear that content, and so I'm going, wow, you should release to me the music every week because I can't find this on Spotify.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you think about it in the metaverse world, so they're building subscribers, 3,000 subscribers who are paying $7 a month.
Yes.
How would they embrace?
Well, you've got to think about it. Okay, firstly, think of your subscription as a golf membership. That's the first thing. When you buy a golf membership, you're buying one of a limited amount, and that you can on-sell it and you hope that that membership is going to become more valuable, right? So you're buying an asset. So that's the first thing. You limit the amount of subscriptions.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because then each subscriber, each member, then has an incentive to improve the value of the ecosystem. They suddenly go, if I add to this ecosystem, my membership is going to be more valuable. Therefore, I'm investing in myself. And so when you look at our Fluff World community, they're adding to it. Well, they're adding to it because it's fun, but they're adding to it because they know that everything that they do to it will improve the value of the community and their investment. Now, that is an unbeatable way to build a community. It's no longer broadcast. It's collaborative. It's collaborative creation. Everyone in our community owns the IP to their fluff, as in they could go and build a TV show with it tomorrow, and we'd be fine with that. It could be interesting. It could be called Fluff World, the fluffiest fluff, whatever it is. And all it would be doing is adding to the value of the ecosystem, so everybody wins.
I think one of the things I'm going to do after this is invite you when we get out of lockdown to come and see Lance and Taryn and the team, and
Yeah.
to have a little bit of a chat. The second thing I'm going to do is create an NFT group in Monarchy. We've got a cryptocurrency group, but I think we should have and we've got a metaverse group, but maybe an NFT group, because I'm super, super interested around the opportunity for our creative artists, and I mean that on the full spectrum, from music, sound, dance, such a exciting
think about the stuff we haven't discovered yet. I mean, so one of the greatest parts about Fluff was that I had a couple, Aaron and I, we bought some to give to some creatives. I called up Di Henwood and I said, hey man, you want to share a Fluff with me and we can talk about how we can increase its value. In 15 minutes, he'd changed my whole perception on how you could build value into these things as content creators.
One Fluff or all the Fluffs?
One Fluff. So he was able to talk about how you could serialize, like you could have your Fluff and then
for breakfast, serialize.
No, serialize as in, like, he created a character for his Fluff, because you can rename your Fluff and do a backstory. And then Di is wanting to kind of, do a weekly serial about what's happened in that Fluff's life that week, and build out effectively, a fan base and create added value for his Fluff. Now, I hadn't even thought about that. This was way back at the start. Yeah.
Chainsaw Fluff.
Yeah, there's talk about it. Someone said the other day that they were hitting him up, and he didn't even. He's already created a character. When P Fluff Chainsaw. That's Dean Borland. So maybe Dean is the person that's been prompting this. By the way, I've been tricked into this, Andy Hamilton. I didn't realize how many of the Fluffle would be on your watching this. So I may have given up. I thought this was just for your Monarchy crew, so I may have given up a whole bunch.
And no one was watching on that. But
no,
hey, I've got a whole lot of new members on Monarchy now as a result, because you and the Fluff Worlds are like a magnet.
Well, the amazing thing about the Fluffle, these are the people. When I first thought, when I was going to meet them, I was a bit nervous, because you never know, right? And then we had this video conference with the Shakers, who are just these awesome humans that are helping us. They're all CEOs. They're all strategists. They're all like really successful people. I guess you have to be if you're spending $6,000 on a piece of digital art, but they're successful, brilliant people who are aware that this is a sea change in the way that content is being distributed and entertainment, and they're, front seat with us, which is awesome.
It is amazing. And so, one question: who, as a follow-up, should I interview on Real Talk about the NFT world? And
Aaron. Aaron is infinitely smarter than me. I mean,
who else? Like, what about? Have you got a good example of a creator?
Yes.
Who I could talk to?
Yeah, talk to the Titan Tiki guys, because that's awesome. It's an amazing story, because they've sold. I'm going to do that. 4,000 of theirs. So but definitely Aaron's amazing.
Okay, and final thing, which is really for you, Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
Do you pinch yourself some days and go, other than being the luckiest man in the world to be married to Amber?
There's a lot of things that I'm lucky, that I'm grateful for, and I'm lucky with. Obviously, you start with the wife who's just made my life amazing from day one. And none of this happens without her, right? So you find yourself. I'm not saying that if you're single, you won't be able to find this kind of happiness, because of course you can. But if anyone knew me before I met Amber, they'll have a profound understanding of the effect that she's had on my life. And then,
yes, that's true.
And then the second part is, again, so Aaron McDonald is one of the most generous humans I've ever met. His ability to identify talented people, connect them, and then make sure that they get like a 10 times better deal than him in the deal is incredible. And you wonder why he's got 64 of these entities that are starting to really charge now. He just does not care about what his upside is. I mean, I'm sure he does, but his primary concern is, how do I make sure guys like Jesse and Alex have this great upside and feel like it's their entity? And the result is a better company. So if you're out there and you're investing in young New Zealanders or young people, take a leaf out of Aaron's book, because it's amazing.
What's the biggest secret that you've got in your head at the moment?
Oh my God, it's so massive. Oh my God. Hey, let's circle back though. It's so big. And every now and then I let it slip when I've been drinking. We're in the middle of like 4 or 5 of these giant contract negotiations. And they're so giant. I like you pinch yourself. Like you pinch yourself and go, I can't believe I'm zooming into this boardroom or talking to these people. And you realize that
you're not asking for like MIQ.
No, places. I'm not asking for MIQ. What's happening, Andy, is the most incredible people around the world are realizing what an opportunity this is. And we just get Zoom requests from these amazing companies and people. And their opening thing is, hey, I've owned a Fluff. I love it. I'm a fan. How do we get involved? And these are people who, in the next 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to start announcing some of those partnerships. They've taken 6+ weeks to put together. And some of them will be completely game-changing for the ecosystem. So I'm so proud of everything our team has done to bring value to the 3,500 Fluff owners that we have.
And 3,500 own the 10,000.
Own the 10,000.
It's a cult.
Oh yeah, we've got a cult. It's called there is a cult. So Fluffle is an actual cult that's in our ecosystem. It's a long story, but it's called.
Does your mate Derek own a Fluff?
It's a good question. I hope so. I told him about it. He was one of the first people I called. Derek Hanley's who we're talking about. Oh shoot, guys! I've got a call with Texas. I'm supposed to be on a call with Texas. But
thank you very much.
I really appreciate the time, Andy. Thank you so
amazing.
Much. And
take it easy.
Okay, and to all the Fluffle out there, thank you for joining in. I'm so sorry I didn't leak the big secret. But whatever you do not leave those thingies on the floor or the Fluffs for that matter.
3 words, 3 final words. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Oh yeah, let's fucking go. Okay, sweet guys. See ya.
See ya. Bye. Thanks everyone. Thanks for tuning in. See ya, Brooke.